The largest layoff in U.S. history has just begun. As I record this, about 2 million government employees have a little over 24 additional hours to decide whether they want to accept Trump's buyout or not. So, in today's video, I want to talk about what's going on and what it could mean for the economy and for the rest of us. So, let's start off with this Forbes article. The title is At least 65,000 workers accept President Trump's buyout, now the biggest job cut in U.S. history. And the article goes on to say that President Trump offered this buyout to more than 2 million government workers in an unprecedented move to shrink the U.S. government. And according to Forbes, more than 2 million people received this offer, which allows people to collect their salaries for about 8 months. And the Forbes article doesn't say this, but my understanding is if they're working remotely, they can continue to work remotely until their resignation is accepted. The plan is to eliminate tens of thousands of jobs, is currently on hold after being temporarily blocked by a judge. We're going to get to what that new deadline is based on that block. The offer was issued to all federal workers except certain military, postal, or certain national security employees. The government employed more than 3 million people as of November of last year, not including active duty military. So, how does this compare to other layoffs in the country? Okay, IBM currently holds the unprestigious record of the biggest layoff. When they laid off 60,000 people in 1993, which was the same year that they posted an $8 billion loss, Sears cut 50,000 jobs and closed 113 stores in 1993. Citigroup also cut 50,000 jobs. General Motors closed 5 factories and cut 47,000 jobs in 2009. You can see this trend of about 40 to 50,000 jobs here. AT&T laid off 40,000 people, about 14% of its staff in 1996. Kmart, remember Kmart? Kmart in 2003 announced they closed 326 stores and cut $35,000 jobs, 1 year after cutting 22,000 jobs in 2002. Ford laid off 35,000 people in 2002 and 30,000 jobs in 2006. Circuit City closed 567 stores and laid off 34,000 jobs after declaring bankruptcy in 2009. And Boeing, in the wake of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attack, Boeing axed 31,000 jobs, or 15% of its workforce. 3 years earlier, the aerospace giant had a mass layoff also of about 28,000. So this is a big, big deal. This is a very, very large layoff, and the U.S. government has done this before. You can see here the Army eliminated 50,000 jobs in 2011. The Air Force cut 40,000 in 2005. The Postal Service cut 30,000. But here's a surprising fact that Forbes shares with us, and that is that there's roughly 2.4 million federal workers, and they're the largest employer in the United States. Um, Without including employees of the post office, which, if it were a private business, would be one of the 10 largest employers in the United States as well. So, how did all of this begin? Well, the Associated Press broke the news on January 28th with a article titled "Trump Offering Federal Worker Buyouts with About 8 months of Pay in Effort to Shrink the Business." And they talk about the Office of Personnel Management, and this is from the government website, the Office of Personnel Management. It's a government entity. Think of it as the HR division for government employees. And here the deadline was extended from February 6th to accept this resignation offer to February 10th, in compliance with an order issued today by the District Court of Massachusetts, granting a request to stay the deadline of the deferred resignation program. The deadline for federal employees to accept this offer is being extended to Monday, February 10th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I had to chuckle. Here's what federal employees need to do to indicate that they want to resign, and it's much more efficient of a process than I would have thought. Um, this still is from the Office of Personnel Management, a U.S. government entity. Um, and they say below is an email that was sent to all federal employees on January 28th, updated with new dates, presenting a deferred resignation offer. If you have not responded to that email and wish to accept the deferred resignation offer, you may do so by following these two steps. Send an email to hr@opm.gov from your government account. Only email from .gov or .mil account will be accepted. And type the word resign in the subject line and hit send. So incredibly efficient. I don't mean to make light of it. This is a big deal. And the government is employing a carrot and a stick approach to this. Um, in this letter that they say that they sent out to employees on all government employees on January 28th, they did say, hey, if you don't accept this offer, here are the 4 pillars going forward that are going to be changes for all of us. These are the pillars that the Office of Personnel Management is telling everybody. These are going to be the new standards, and some of those are really important. The first one is a return to office. And they're saying they may have to relocate offices, they may be repositioned. There's going to be a performance culture. The federal government workforce should be comprised of the best America has to offer. We'll insist on this excellence at every level. And then number 3 is a more streamlined and flexible workforce. The big thing there is they're saying that the majority, it's essentially they're going to be at will employees. And what that means is they can be right now, there's cause you can't just fire somebody if you're a government employee. They have protections, they have rights, but with an at will employee, they can be fired for any reason or no reason at all. And then the last one is enhanced standards of conduct. The federal workforce should be comprised of employees who are reliable, loyal, trustworthy, and who strive for excellence in their daily work. Um, so they're employing both the carrot and stick. What's my takeaway on all this? My takeaway on all this is working in the U.S. is hard. There are no easy jobs in the United States. And we have a culture of doing things better, faster, cheaper, continuously. And that's good for companies, but it can be exhausting, particularly the older that we get. And it creates stress. And at some point, we all have to say, is it worth this stress? This is a major, major change for government employees. It's going to have a trickle-down effect as well with other service providers as the U.S. government shrinks. We may see the use of contractors increase, or we may see the use of contractors actually decrease. I don't know which way that's going to go. If I had to guess, I would say the use of contractors is going to decrease, but I don't have a crystal ball. None of us have a crystal ball, but one of the biggest decisions in front of all of us, whether we're a government employee or not, is at what point do we say enough is enough? We have enough money to retire. Do a plan. None of this is financial advice, but if you do have enough money to retire, give serious thought to retiring sooner rather than later to avoid some of this stress, which is why I made this video here. Why waiting to retire to 65 might be a big mistake. I'll see you in that one. Bye-bye.